think about a lesson as one big blob, which is how you wind up with an infinite scroll on your lesson design too. You're thinking about it as being something with one action item. Read the Scarlet Letter and write an essay about it. So although you may have lots of interesting ideas and building blocks to writing that essay, you might be giving lots of great advice in that big blob of text. You can guarantee that a high percentage of your students are not going to read it. They're going to go to the bottom and go, oh, read the Scarlet Letter, write an essay about it. Then they're going to go to Schmoop and read the summary of the Scarlet Letter. And then they're going to piecemeal patchwork a plagiarized essay, and they're going to turn it in. And so the infinite scroll has worked out just fine from their perspective, because they didn't really have to do anything, because you gave them a big blob of text with a big blob of an assignment, which is not how any teacher structures, learning in a face-to-face situation, right? We always think, what do my students need to learn? What are the different parts of this skill that I can break down, and how can I make sure that I teach them those things? And in a face-to-face classroom, they're sitting in their desks, and if someone's asleep, if you're a good teacher, then you wake them up. But you don't know when you're an online teacher. So you have to actually hold everyone accountable for all of the steps in between, which can mean, sorry, I'm getting off task, but that's how some online courses wind up having 1 million 2-point assignments. But you don't have to do it that way. There are super cool tools, which I'm sure that you're talking about in other videos, that can help you hold students accountable for the little steps without you actually engaging, getting in the middle of it, mediating all of it. They can hold each other accountable. Tools like Perusall will automatically score. Edpuzzle, you can build in quizzes to see who watched, who responded, and they will just give you that data. So you don't have to go, there's no way for you to go around and see whose eyeballs are on you in the classroom, but you can let these tools do that for you. And when you force yourself not to do the infinite scroll big blob assignment, then you say to your students, these are the different components of this task. Each of these steps has an action item, something you need to do. And for most, though I'm sure not all of them, there's a good way to hold them accountable for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting, because you're absolutely right that in a brick and mortar space, you wouldn't just say, go read the book, come back in 2 weeks and do an essay.
Right.
And yet I think that both just sort of the way online learning has evolved since the 90s, right? Since we were just posting things online and doing them.
It's the correspondence course model.
Right. That combined with sort of the anxieties that come around, how do I do this online thing, can make it really easy to just say, I'm going to post all the directions. You know how to read it, and walk yourself through. It's just that, I don't know about you, but when I am reading a really long article online, I get tired. I have to take a break. And if you're 15, for sure, they need some structure. And so offering them that structure through the kinds of tools that you're talking about. Also, you do a good job of making the structure of your lessons consistent across lessons, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. And I think that, the less time students spend trying to orient themselves in the lesson, the more time they will spend doing the work, right? Because if they get burnt out and frustrated before they even get started, then you're gonna, you know, you're gonna get a poorer quality product on the other end. Yeah, and part of that really, I do think when you design your course with chunks, you know, chunks of text with an action item can fit on the screen. It's not just more functional, it's also less overwhelming, right? Because they only see, at one time, they only see as much as they can do. I mean, I know that I'm not perfect at this, and sometimes there are long texts and, you know, things they'll have to come back to over and over again. But in general, I think of each screen as the task of one session, right? So what's on the screen should be something that you can do, you know, as though you're, you know, came to English class on Monday.